A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
An empty plastic bottle would give you 50 cents. A soda can, 60 cents. A used food container, 80. Wondering why I know this? Because that's my job. I am a trash picker at my school.
Harry, the trash prince is on a roll today. And how was your trashy affair with Bella coming? She lets you kiss her with that stink?
Their words don't bother me. They don't know why I do what I do. And my secret. I edge close to my class when I hear Bella and her friend talking.
You can't be serious, Bella. You want me to break up with him for you?
I would do it myself if his poverty didn't give me the creeps.
You are unbelievable.
I come face to face with Bella's friend. She knew I heard the conversation and couldn't meet my eyes. She hands me the new phone I bought for Bella and walks away. I saved for months to buy her this phone. I walk down the empty corridor with a heavy heart, pick the phone out of the box, slip my SIM in, and switch it on. When... Harry Parker, you have passed the poverty test? You are now the heir to Parker family's billions worth of assets?
If Harry is a billionaire, why does he work as a trash picker? What is his big secret? Why did he not reveal his billionaire status to Bella? To know more, listen to the audio series Destiny Reloaded, only on Pocket FM.
Presentation. Welcome one and all to Turn 200's coverage of Maximum Velocity. It is the same old Thursday night truck racing, but a new addition from last season to this. The title sponsorship now belongs to CNC Home Designs. And so, we bring you the first ever appearance of the Maximum Velocity CNC Home Designs Truck Series here on Turn 200. It's the 2024 season opening practice race. So, non-points race here tonight from Chicagoland. But those of you who remember back to last season will remember Chicagoland had a photo finish, I believe 11 1,000ths of a second at the line. And things have changed from last season to this season in terms of this truck, the setup, and the oval refresh. Will we be in for another close one here tonight? We're about to find out. Some new drivers, some of the same dominant faces from last season are here tonight as well, but it's the same two boys up in the booth. It's Tommy Cook alongside Matt Williamson. And Matt, welcome back to Thursday Night Truckin'.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a really long time. Excited to be back. We got a long season ahead of us for the broadcast, and the drivers have plenty of time to get their season, to finish the way they want it. Running that full Cup Series schedule here in the trucks should be very entertaining. But I'm excited for this practice race because I missed Chicagoland last season in the regular season. So I'm excited to be here myself.
And qualifying just about to wrap up here, but hello to everybody out in Turn 200 land. Of course, Goodleaf Archives hanging out with us. Thank you very much. At the Bellagio, waiting for somebody to make a big bet, and we can always count on you to make the truly wild bets and to keep us watching all throughout the field as this race rolls along. 2 seconds, and qualifying will be wrapped up here. 19 drivers getting ready to take to it. James Lehman is in the field, but he says he's going to be one lap and done. He's in a hotel room on a controller, and it looked a little bit sketchy in practice, to be honest with you, so maybe that'll be for the best. Who knows? But outside of that, 18 other drivers looking to go the full distance here, 95 laps for today's practice race for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series practice race at Chicagoland. Justin Michael on the front row. Rob Haynes will line up to his outside. It's Heath Smith and Charlie Widener on row number 2. Michael Milfelt and Riley Tilton, one of a few newcomers to the field in the practice race here. Riley will line up at 6th. Johnny Hamby and Willie Evernham, who made one start last season, will line up at 8th. Andrew Schulte, the reigning series champion, back there in P9. Matt Burkhart will line up to round out your top 10 starters. Brad Ream, another debutant here, is starting in the 11th. Kerry Cleaver at 12th. Chris Voiles and John Pansilla are 14th. Michael R. Van. Michael Van in 15th. James Lehman starting 16th. Doug Heveron, Bill Paradise, and Jack Nudemacher, the 19th driver field. And Matt Williamson. Some strategy notes, some track conditions, some Chicagoland here for the fine folks in Turn 200 lane.
Yeah, looking at those track conditions, 98 degrees on the track temperature, so, a little bit warmer than we've seen on the channel here as of late. But honestly, for what we saw in Max V last season, I feel like that's a pretty cool temperature for the drivers here. So, should give them, be able to save some tires, save the heat in those things, and, have a lot of grip here around Chicagoland, hopefully. Love the progressive banking here at Chicagoland. That's one of the great features of it. So lines are going to be used from up and down the racetrack, from all the way down by the apron, all the way up to the top by the wall here throughout the run. We got 95 laps here tonight. The fuel, we're looking at about 35 to 40 laps there on the fuel capacity. So going to be a two-stopper. And they do have 4 extra sets of tires in all races this season in the Maximum Velocity CNC Home Designs Truck Series. So they will be able to have plenty of strategy options here.
And Goodleaf betting on Kerry Cleaver. And funny you should mention Cleaver. Kerry is the owner-operator of CNC Home Designs. Hit Kerry up or Deb, the co-operators, if you need custom home building done in Central Florida, whether it's a modern living situation or you're looking for a farmhouse, anything in between, Kerry's got you covered. So thanks to Kerry for coming on board. Of course, he made every start last season in the then Max V Truck Series. It's now the CNC Home Designs Truck Series under his tutelage, I guess? I'm not sure. But appreciate Kerry, and appreciate all the drivers that are coming out here to give it their all in the practice race. Expected upwards of 25 drivers next week at Daytona, and throughout all of this 36 points-paying race season that'll kick off next week at Daytona around this same time. But to get to Daytona, you first got to conquer Chicagoland. Pace truck is off. Justin Michael and Rob Haynes on the front row. We are underway. Michael, 3 times a winner last season in Max V truck competition. Rob Haynes had quite a few good runs as well. They're duking it out up front. Headed down that curved back straightaway.
Riley Tilton there in the 58 on the top side. Some aggressive entries into the corners. Had to back up a little bit not to get into the back of Charlie Widener there into turn 3.
And all the way down by the grass through the tri-oval. It's Rob Haynes that'll lead the opening lap. And you're right, aggressive pushing from Tilton up to wall.
No!
Bang! Right in the wall.
Wow, that was a shot.
Everybody does a good job not to make that situation any worse, but it is pretty bad there for Riley Tilton.
Looked like
we
there
are still green.
A couple drivers that got loose there, Tilton obviously being one of them, but Widener was pretty loose there through turns 1 and 2 as well.
Goodleaf says they're learning about racing, and I'd say a big lesson there. Don't do that. We saw pretty locked-in racing just a couple of nights ago at Las Vegas. Similar mile-and-a-half track, but an elevated track temperature here is going to make this a little bit less locked in as this race rolls along. And multiple grooves, like you mentioned as well, more unlike Las Vegas. So more factors at play here, especially under the bright sunshine.
Yeah, certainly going to play different than we did at Las Vegas a couple nights ago. I haven't actually turned many laps here at Chicagoland since the refresh, so I guess I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but I would assume there's going to have to be a lot more lifting throughout this run towards the end of it here than there was at Las Vegas. Las Vegas was pretty much flat out the entire time. Certainly more lanes to use here, and I think we're going to have more lifting going on here as well.
Charlie Widener was in third. Willie Evernham will sneak up to that spot now, move Charlie back. Charlie in command of the dog pound behind him. That's Michael Milfelt, Brad Ream, Heath Smith, Andrew Schulte, Matt Burkhart, Johnny Hamby, and pretty much everybody else.
Evernham looks underneath of Justin Michael now and going to take that spot for the time being. Continues to march forward here, up 6 spots now, Willie Evernham.
Good run here for the 91. You know, the 91 car, or the 91 truck rather, finished P2 here at Chicagoland last season. Different driver, but a good number to be repping here nonetheless.
Lots of side-by-side in the back half of the top 10 here. Milfelt on the bottom, the 61. Brad Ream there on the top. Gets the advantage. Schulte in that really good-looking 81 truck behind.
Oh, up by the wall there. That might be Pansula. Got awfully close there on entry. Losing a couple spots.
Evernham knocking on the door of Rob Haynes right now. '91 with a decent little run here down towards the bottom.
Evernham looking for it. Haynes should get a decent defensive run off the top side here. They'll be side by side into the tri-oval. Justin Michael lagging back a bit in third, but I'm sure licking his chops here as Haynes having to work for it on the top side. Evernham using it up on the bottom. And Michael, ever the conservationist, sitting back, lying in wait.
We saw Michael running down right on the white line through turns 1 and 2. These drivers right now are using up all of the racetrack they can to find that quick line right now.
down to the final square inch there before you find your way into the wall at turn number 4. Willie Evernham trying to get everything he can. Half lane up there in 1 and 2, looking for a run. Michael staying with it half a second. As behind them, Widener and Ream are battling for 4th. This will be Brad Ream's first appearance on the channel. Charlie Widener, many times an appearee, not just in Max V action. And always an exciting driver.
Yeah, it's good to call some familiar names and faces we just haven't seen on the channel for a while, but also good to have some new blood here in the CNC Designs Maximum Velocity Truck Series. It's going to be a great season here, and looking forward to getting to know some of those new drivers pretty well, and looking forward to seeing those that are returning get right back after it where they left off.
Nothing says America quite like trucks. I know you agree with that. I probably agree with that too. As far as I know, JJ, thanks for hanging out with us. No relation to Evernham himself. Ray Evernham, that is, the longtime Cup Series crew chief and car owner. But certainly, anytime you can put an Evernham Dodge livery on a truck, you're doing the right thing. Ream, Widener, Schulte, and Burkhart nose to tail here. That's 4th through 7th. Schulte, as he usually does, qualifies either just inside or just outside of the top 10 and strategically picks his way up through the field. He'll be towards the podium, if not on it, by the end of this one, by the final run.
Widener now underneath of Ream to get that 4th spot back. They will battle side by side as the previous season champion Andrew Schulte sits back here behind him.
And for 2nd, Justin Michael going to take a peek at least. See if he can keep the run. Michael pushing a bit up off the bottom. Evernham going to hold his own up top. And I'm sure Rob Haynes is enjoying seeing the battling behind him.
And Michael with that much different line choice way down by the white line. See if he runs it again here. Now being little bit on the defense from behind. He does. Haynes tries to pull down in front of him to protect.
Haynes, I believe, the lone international driver in the field here today, at least. He's been leading the way, representing the Maple Leaf up front, but now Justin Michael looking underneath. Haynes has done pretty good to protect on this top side thus far. Michael looking for the big move here. Has to roll way out of it. Wanted the slider. And that was going to end in disaster here. That's a lap 95 move, maybe not a lap 18 move. Justin Michael isn't false advertising. He's 95% of the time, he's floorboard deep.
Looking at those runs right there, looks like the top side right now, carrying momentum around the top side is the way to go. Just too hard to make the tires stick there on the bottom for Michael, and you see he's migrated towards the top of the racetrack now.
Good to point out as well, C-Class official races are here at Chicagoland this week, so I would imagine a lot of the drivers have taken advantage of that and have gotten some practice here.
Here's an onboard look with Andrew Schultz still diving down to the bottom. Widener does the same. Ream up there on the top. And that's why we love Chicagoland. You can run all of these lines and make them work just about the same, at least at different points in the run.
There is no traction control here in the NASCAR trucks. So these trucks are a little bit unsteady, especially on the starts of the race. But about right now, probably not noticing it unless you're doing something wrong.
Michael back down to the bottom, getting underneath of Haynes. Still gets a pretty good run off the bottom there out of turn 2.
Yeah, Michael took a couple of laps after the failed slider there to regroup. Now pushing ahead once more. Haynes awfully flirtatious there with the outside wall out of 4. And Michael gonna try it once more. He might get it here in 1 and 2.
And I would say that's the trouble spot we see late in the runs. It's very easy to get tight up off of 4 and get into that wall.
Watching from the blimp cam, Michael, when he tries to push it on the bottom, looks a little bit free, which is interesting. You talk about, or you hear some drivers anyway mention that they try to keep this car rotating off its right rear tire and not the right front. Rather have a looser truck. Put me in that category as well. But there, it gets awfully tight and tight to the left rear quarter panel of the race leader, Rob Haynes.
Yeah,
Michael might have it.
These two have stayed just about dead even for the last 2 or 3 laps, but Michael able to slip out in front.
And that is the pass complete. Justin Michael now at the head of the field. Will Rob Haynes have an answer? Maybe a bit of a shove there to Michael into turn 1. Meanwhile, behind them, Willie Evernham is backed up, and Brad Ream has gone around off the front bumper of Andrew Schultz. They're both going to save it.
No, Schultz
They
does
both
go
around.
sideways.
Wow.
Man, that was
the stack up happens because Willie Evernham is dropping back a bit. He tries to move to the top side. Ream looks to go underneath. Schultz is kind of there. At least that's how I saw it in the moment. I mean, all things considered, pretty damn good saves there.
Yeah, that was a hell of an effort from Schultz and Ream to try and keep those things straight, and nearly accomplished it.
So that is caution number 1. It's out on lap number 25, working number 26 under caution. And that should be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, we're going to take a look here into turn 1, now coming into 2. Evernham on the top, Ream in the middle there. Schultz pushing up off the bottom. Oh, when Ream just gets loose, he loses his run out of the corner. Schultz has good traction there and is a rocket ship towards the 61. Really didn't have an opportunity to go anywhere else. The two of them make contact, and they just continue to fishtail down this backstretch, trying to keep them straight, but both of them end up sideways here. We're going to go on board with Schultz here on the next replay. Going to back it up and just see how quickly he comes up on Ream, who got loose there coming out of 2. Luckily, not much damage for those two. They both kept it out of the wall. Didn't make a whole lot of contact with each other. They just have to go back in the running order.
Yeah, that was a successful spin if there's ever been one. You know? You could say it happened. It'd be good for the post-race interview if either of them worked their way back up to the podium. Put it on the reel. Race off of pit road as everybody came down pit road under this caution while we were on the replay there. Justin Michael from the lead. And again, if that had happened just a couple laps earlier, maybe it would be Rob Haynes, who had pretty good short to medium run pace there. It would have been him. He's out in second, though, behind Justin Michael. Charlie Widener is out third. Burkhart, Smith, Evernham, Hamby, Milfeld, Pansilla, and Cleaver, the top 10. The comment a little bit ago from Goodleaf reminded me. I don't know why I thought of this, but just a couple of years ago, my stepdad and mom bought a house and everything that was in it, and the owner of the house had a ton of laser discs, and I never got to watch one. I mean, there were like probably over 100 laser discs, and they sold the entire collection before I could watch one, and I'm still disappointed. Never seen a movie on a laser disc.
I gotta be honest, I don't even know what a laser disc is.
It's a record-sized DVD, like maybe early 90s, late 80s. Oh, and we're going to board this conversation as Justin Michael has come in from the lead.
Alrighty, so there's something with the fuel strategy, if I had to guess here, for Michael, unless he has some sort of a... Well, I guess he wouldn't be serving a penalty under yellow here, probably.
No, I would imagine it would be an end-of-line penalty if he did have one, and he would have already gone back. But no, Justin Michael in, and yeah, lap 30 here with 35 to 40 lap fuel window. I mean, where does that put him out here with the top off?
Well, I mean, we have 65 laps to go here. So, Michael thinking that it's going to be close to make that one stop from here on out, I suppose. So maybe that fuel window is looking more like 32 or so laps. Michael might have felt like he didn't have enough.
Restart order going to be a bit thrown off here with him coming in under the caution. Some people are supposed to be on the inside that are on the outside, and vice versa. Pace truck is back off. Field is now back under the control of Rob Haynes after that turn of events. Matt Burkhart up to second. Duking it out for third. Evernham on the inside, Widener on the outside. Evernham will get cleared. Now it's Michael Milfeld. And same thing with what happened to Riley Tilton earlier. Be careful here on Freshies. This truck does not like to handle for the first couple of laps.
Especially coming into that second one, you feel like, all right, I got a lap in, now I can kind of send it. Nuh-uh, nope. that ain't there yet, brother. Woo, man, lots of jumbling up here. Back half of the top 10.
Ooh, stacking up the top 10 there. Kerry Cleaver had to roll out of it big time not to get into Johnny Hamby.
Lots of crisscrossing here. Smith goes and dives down to the bottom. Pansula stays at the top.
Rob Haynes back up front. Last time we saw Matt Burkhart was a rather ill-fated appearance in the ASRL charity stream at the Glen, as we're 3 wide with Schulte in the middle, just outside of the top 10. Burkhart faring a lot better here, drawing near to the race leader, Rob Haynes. "17 drivers on track. They're all in the lead lap. Everybody trying to make moves.
Burkhart running right in the middle. Haynes has been loving that outside. A little kiss of the wall there, but shouldn't be a problem.
Evernham sticking tried and true to the top line through the tri-oval there, drawing nearer to the top three, bringing Milfelt, Widener, and company with him. Here comes a run again from Evernham. Burkhart gonna stay where he's at and not defend the top side.
And if these three get in a heated battle, it'll allow everybody behind them to close in, which they've already started to, but it'll get even more chaotic.
Door to door. Awfully tight there. Burkhart sticking to the bottom. Widener
Milfelt
around the outside of Milfelt.
Oh, look at Widener. Dives down, trying to make it 3 wide down into turn 3.
Burkhart wants no part of it. He's out of it. Widener now. Evernham.
Oh!
Nearly 3 wide for the lead. We are 3 wide for the lead. Haynes to the top. Widener to the grass. The meat and the sandwich, Willie Evernham. Burkhart and Pansula now the top 5. Haynes from first back to third. The 91 and the 95 going for it up front.
And no time to breathe for Haynes either. He goes from first to third and now in jeopardy of possibly losing 2 more.
Fighter jet formation here for the top 5. This ain't no flyover. This is racing at Chicagoland! Oh no! Turned! Widener and Evernham. Widener from the lead. Ay, ay, ay. Caution number 2.
Ay, ay, ay is right.
That's racing at Chicagoland.
We saw a lot of drivers getting close together down here on the entry into turn 1. Everybody's trying to swing up high and try to get that good entry down into the corner. Widener's thinking that Evernham is going to be way up farther towards the top of the racetrack. He comes out to try and get that good arc into turn 1 and makes contact with the left front of the 91.
I definitely think you're right about, obviously, Widener's coming up the track. I will say Evernham does kind of make a little jut down at that point as well, maybe to try and put himself in a defensive position. Maybe didn't realize how far up Widener was going to be. Definitely not the puzzle pieces you wanted to be jamming together at this point in the race.
No, I mean, you're running up front. I mean, neither of them obviously wanted to have any sort of incident there.
No.
But, I mean, we saw the whole run after the restart there, everybody was swinging up to the top in turn 1, trying to get the look down.
Everybody down pit road. Rob Haynes wins the race off. Andrew Schulte out second.
I'm thinking there might be some tire strategy there. Maybe took 2. Hadn't run too many laps there.
Which 2 did he take? Did he take the left front and the right rear?
That would be a sight to see.
Yes, it would.
Although not possible here on iRacing.
It should be, gosh darn it. Should be able to do what I want.
At least not in this particular vehicle. There are some vehicles that you can take a specific tire.
I think the L79 you can.
That is the one I was thinking of, yes.
There you go. We're on the same page. And looking ahead, while we've got a second here, of course, next Thursday night is the season opener for the Maximum Velocity CNC Home Designs Truck Series proper anyway, the points-paying opener. It'll be following, for the most part, the Cup Series schedule with the trucks. 36 races this season. A couple of tracks that don't have the Makoni baseline sets, they will not be running at, and we'll swap them out for tracks that do, that just aren't on the Cup Series schedule. So that means that we're at Daytona next week for the points-paying opener. Between now and then, Sunday afternoon, Super Bowl Sunday, we'll be here with the Mission R Challenge from the Nürburgring. Oh, that'll be a quick 2 p.m. Eastern race, 20 minutes timed, in and out in 45 minutes in total. It's a great way to spend your pregame party here on Turn 200. Monday night, it is the championship race for the Formula Super Series at Suzuka. And Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series is at Atlanta, 2022 Atlanta. So no Daredevil Series racing on the Wednesday before our points-paying opener here for Max V, CNC. They are on the Valentine's Day break, and they'll be back in 2 weeks at Talladega, which should be another one of the races in series history.
It's going to be special.
It is going to be a spectacle, one way or the other. Draft speeds upwards of 205 miles an hour for those drivers that are trailing a bit behind. So very exciting to break the average speed record in a couple of weeks at Talladega. It should be a pretty good time.
Hey, Tommy, don't we have some money that's going to be thrown out tonight here? At
Oh,
the
yeah.
race?
Did you come up with a name for that? Because
I certainly didn't. I've been trying to think this whole time, and I haven't come up with anything. You know, we like to come up with clever things, and I just haven't been able to come up with anything clever up to this point.
I have a name, but it's not clever.
Well, let's hear it after the restart.
After the restart. Haynes and Schultz on the front row. Boy, bottom line does not get going. Really, the top line does not get going either. Nobody from third on back got a good restart there. Rob Haynes, though, did. Schultz in second now. Here's the big run for Matt Burkhardt. Ooh, big checkups there.
Wow.
That was Michael that got shot backwards.
Yeah, big moments up there in front of him. Milfeld looked like he had to make a save up towards the wall. Getting pretty loose.
Shade comes over Joliet, Illinois. See what this does as the top three get nose to tail once again. Haynes leading Schulte and Burkhardt. The series champ up in the mix up front for the first time tonight. 13 podium finishes last season before he finally got that first win, which nabbed him the championship. And right back to form already, although Matt Burkhardt makes quick work of him and will slot into second. You mentioned to gain all those spots, maybe a bit of tire strategy here. Doesn't look like, maybe by choice, this truck isn't rotating, and a bit of over-rotation there for Rob Haynes. He goes up the track. Here's Matt Burkhardt challenging for the lead.
Schultz trying to find any hole he can. He has been all over the racetrack looking for a way around both of these drivers.
Matt Burkhardt to the front of the field at Chicagoland. Schulte challenging for second. Schulte not going to take it. Haynes fighting back on the outside. Some side draft arrows slipping there on the right rear quarter, nearly door to door down the backstretch. 3 wide behind them. Brad Ream stuck on the outside, going to roll out of it. Widener was on the bottom. I think it was Justin Michael that was in the middle. That's just inside the top 10. As Schulte still duking it out here with Haynes to try and take second. One driver we have not mentioned lurking just behind these two is Johnny Hamby in P4, John Pansilla in P5.
Where's Steve Roman when you need him? It has been a hornet's nest back there in the back half of the top 10.
You want to know where he's at?
Would love
None
to.
of your beeswax.
Well, that was clever. Now, how about that name?
How about Layman's Mega Money Mania?
Layman's Mega Money Mania. I love it. You like your alliteration, and I love it too.
Okay.
Well, what? Layman's Mega Money Mania. He has asked us to pick a random number. He asked us this before the race. We just forgot to mention it up until now. And
I was gonna mention it until after the race, just so nobody knew what the number was.
well, we're just gonna say whatever that number is. It's a number 1 through 18, and whoever finishes the place of that number is going to get $5 here tonight.
Oh, Schultz up into the wall.
And he had been flirting with it. I mean, he hasn't looked incredibly stable here. I'm almost certain he took 2 tires there on that last stop.
I think you're right. Not saying he's going to regret it, but he might be regretting it at least temporarily as he finds himself right back in the middle of the battles in and around the top 5. That just leaves Matt Burkhardt as the leader and Rob Haynes now in second. Johnny Hamby half a second back, closing in, and is going to bring the cavalry with him. Can we get some opinions in chat? Layman's Mega Money Mania. How do we feel about that name? Not going to be set in stone until the checkers drop here. Just across the halfway mark, boy, it looked like Schultz got into the wall again, or at least got awfully close. But he's tucked in right behind his teammate Justin Michael.
If I was a viewer, I would vote for it because it's going to be pretty funny for the two of us to have and try to say that throughout the season. It's quite a mouthful.
M's are not my problem. That's never what I had to work through.
Hamby running right on that white line. Widener nearly pushing Hamby here down the backstretch. Getting a big run here on Haynes for second.
Hamby tucks into line. And Kerry Cleaver was just in the top 5. Good on him. He's up in P6 right now. The reason he can't get up here and contend. I mean, he's already doing it, really.
Look at them all lined up there on the bottom. We've only seen a couple drivers run on the bottom like that up to this point. Now everybody wants that piece of real estate. Hamby making a move for second.
That's the oval refresh, baby. Here's Widener sticking it in the middle, nearly 3 wide. Now he's going to go for the crossover.
Haynes up into the wall.
Couple drivers into the wall. Michael had a slap of it on the right rear quarter panel as well.
Everybody looking like Muhammad Ali out here, bobbing and weaving like crazy.
Couple of bee stings are imminent here as, boy, that was a truck length gap that Justin Michael just fit himself into. Widener to second, Hamby back to third, Michael, and now Haynes to top 5. Kerry Cleaver underneath of Rob Haynes. Nearly contact there with help from Heath Smith.
Heath Smith is all over the back of this pack as well.
Charlie Widener in second, close it in on Matt Burkhardt, who has not moved off the top side this entire run.
Wow, the top 5 has just gotten shuffled like crazy here in the last 2 laps. The only one that stayed true is Matt Burkhardt here up front.
Wasn't Charlie Widener just up front?
I mean, a little while ago.
Yeah.
Not in the last 2 laps.
Different dance partner here, though. Widener going to look underneath. Nothing going just yet.
And this is much like the battle that we saw with Michael trying to run the bottom. Widener now is working with that spot, and Burkhart's getting those runs on the outside, so the pass on the bottom not quite able to work.
It's the first time we've seen Justin Michael back at the front of the field since he elected to come back in under a caution for the fuel strategy. Widener not able to find a way around Matt Burkhart just yet. Michael going to stick it to the top side. He's
Michael's
looking for a
gonna
run and a crossover.
Whoa!
Oh,
I think
you
Michael
and I both thought that was coming there.
I think Michael was trying to box Widener in down there on the bottom is what it looked like, but Widener did not want any part of that. He asserted himself back into that hole.
Widener down to defend. We had 3 true blue photo finishes last season in Max V competition. 2 of them were on mile and a halves, and 2 of them involved Justin Michael. And twice he came out on the wrong end of it. I think he'd much rather win by a multitude of seconds than be involved in another photo finish. Under the green here, I think Brad Ream and Michael Milfeld have come in. Not too sure Brad Ream didn't have an incident.
Michael sturdily in second now. Widener has backed up to
Oh! Saw him start to drift up the track and then could not get out of it in time. Burkhart gives up the lead, will drop back to 5th, as here is Widener underneath Michael now for the top spot. So Michael had to check up for Burkhart.
Oh, Widener going to try to slide.
And Michael going to give him a pat on the back there. Michael down to defend against Hamby, looking for a run on new race leader, Charlie Widener.
This race has been wild. And for all the right reasons.
Lap 61 of 95 up on the board. Here goes Justin Michael looking around the outside. And he's clear. Justin Michael back to the point. Oh, Widener has to roll way out of it. We'll lose a couple of truck lengths here as Hamby closes in now. And I'll say it this time, this is Chicagoland racing. This is what we love about this track.
Burkhart, after the contact with the wall, he's been able to stay connected to these top 4.
Gets in there way hot into 3.
But behind him, Rob Haynes has dropped way back, 1.5 seconds off the back of Burkhart. And Kerry Cleaver, Willie Evernham, Andrew Schultz is starting to close in.
Schultz back there in 9th after his brush with the wall on the alternate tire strategy. He's going to the outside of Evernham. Oh, boy, that was close. Good heads up move there by Willie to roll out of that. Speaking of pulling away, Charlie Widener fading to 6/10 behind the race leader.
Wow, big wiggle there for Schultz on turn to exit. Just to pull in behind Cleaver. Was going to try to dive down here into turn 3. Still is going to try it. If Andrew Schultz runs this paint scheme for the rest oh, there's contact between him and Cleaver. That was solid door-to-door contact right there. And here comes Heath Smith. Down underneath Hamby. That's for a podium position for the time being. But anytime Andrew Schultz makes a bold strategy play while running the Taco Bell paint scheme, I think I'm going to call it the thinking outside the bun move of the race. What do you think?
I was thinking something similar to that. I think that's lovely.
Couple free tacos from Taco Bell a week wouldn't be bad for the plug either.
They've got those chicken flatbread melts now that are pretty good.
Oh, here comes Rob Haynes.
Rob Haynes. And I was just about to ask, going green on lap 43, it's lap 68. What was her pit strategy looking like? And maybe that, whoa, somebody's way down off the track and around. It's Kerry Cleaver.
Oh, and contact with Paradise as well. Paradise up into the wall. Oh, my goodness. The 22 of Hevron just launched himself into the 69.
Wow.
Holy cow.
And the report over the radio from Kerry Cleaver said that his sim tabbed out on him and he could not see anything. And that would explain what happened there, because he was going full tilt and just pulled nearly down into the grass there in turn 1. Goodness gracious. So under caution, I think, for the 3rd time. And that was a wild one, to say the least. And hello to Indica Scarlet hanging out with us as well. Things got very interesting as soon as you arrived on the scene.
Yeah, and you called it. Running right here. I mean, Evernham is right here behind Cleaver, and I had to be thinking, what in the world just happened? Cleaver, makes some contact there. Paradise up into the wall. And Hevron, I mean, that's a linebacker hit to a tiny quarterback right there. That was a crazy hit. Pansula's the one that Cleaver made contact to just barely there as he came back up the racetrack.
Pansilla will have some damage. Unfortunately for Bill Paradise, who had a glancing blow there, he picked up a meatball flag out of that, believe it or not. So he's got some extensive repairs to make. Kerry Cleaver, Doug Heveron, they are out of the race, as the race off of pit road is won by Justin Michael.
Boy, those are some fireworks for the night, huh?
Wow. Yeah. Oh, we've seen some stuff this week, haven't we?
We certainly have.
We were worried about making it to turn 1 on Monday night in the Formula Super Series, and we didn't make it off the front stretch before an absolute junkyard opened up. The Daredevil Series Wednesday, the road course race at New Hampshire was something.
It was a sight to behold, for sure.
7 cautions in the oval race as well, and that was one of the more spectacular wrecks we've seen even this week. I think you hit it right on the head on Monday night. The turn 10 is going to be spicy for February.
We could have a turn 10 from this week alone.
I think so. Oh, and for anybody that did not hear, for anybody that's not in our Discord server, the news didn't make it around, we have the #1 clip on the iRacing Top 10 that got published 3 times today. For some reason, we didn't get credited with the clip. That was that was our good friend Joe Peak that got credited with the clip, even though he says he didn't submit it. But that is our clip from the Formula Super Series race at Phillip Island Circuit that hit number 1 on the charts for the iRacing Top 10. So that's our first clip in the Top 10.
And you're going to want to take a look at it. It's the number 1 clip on the Top 10 on iRacing's official YouTube channel. And I think it's probably the closest finish you've ever seen. So you're going to want to go check it out.
It is certainly the closest finish I've ever seen. When you have to scrape the data to see how close the finish is, you know you've done something right. So, yes, very excited. It's our first clip in the iRacing Top 10 ever. And not only that, it's the number 1 clip. So that's just super, super, super cool. So shout out to everybody at iRacing. Shout out to Joe Peak, too, I guess. He was definitely, him and Christian Jasper were having a good time with it on Twitter. So, yes, shout out to everybody involved. Really super cool for us. That's been something that you and I have been hoping would happen for a while now, and we've had a couple of clips that we thought were worthy, but that one probably is the most worthy for the top 10.
Yeah, we've submitted a couple for the not top 10 that we're very close to getting in.
Yeah, one in particular slipped through the cracks that I'm still a little bit chapped about, but regardless, it's cool to be featured, even though we didn't really get anything out of it because our name didn't get put in there. But that's all right. It's the thought that counts. Our commentary's on the clip, so that's still pretty cool. Something to write home about, for sure.
All right, Tommy. Well, it's all out now.
Yeah.
Almost everybody came down pit road there. Everybody's good on fuel, and it's going to be an all-out brawl from here on out.
This will be something to write home about. Justin Michael, Charlie Widener, Johnny Hamby, Heath Smith, Andrew Schulte, Matt Burkhardt, the top 6. We're back underway. 73 of 95. Widener fading. That's Heath Smith that's up into second. We've seen Smith making some moves, but not this far up the running order.
But getting some help from Schulte here is going to be able to dive down underneath Michael for first.
3 wide behind them. Widener up top. Pansola going to roll out of it. Or rather, that's Johnny Hamby that rolled out of it. 3 wide behind them, though. This field trying to get themselves sorted out. Willie Evernham is back up here in the top 5. Smith, Schulte, Michael, side by side for 4th behind. Evernham up top, Widener on the bottom.
Woo! Oh, Evernham touching the wall there.
Merely a flesh wound.
Wow, I mean, mere inches on some of these drivers getting themselves back into the line that they prefer.
Schulte, pump fake to the bottom. Smith will go down to the white line.
Oh, a bit of a wiggle there from Michael on the top side.
We're all wiggling.
Here
Schulte
comes
out of the top.
Schulte.
Oh!
Wow!
Wiggle.
A huge save from Schulte, but it's going to check everybody up behind.
Yo Quiero, save the truck.
And now
3 wide.
3 wide with Michael.
Oh!
That's Evernham up into the wall.
Whoa.
Johnny Hamby on the bottom here in that 3 wide exchange. Michael gets out in front of him.
Hamby sent Michael up into Schulte. Juking and jiving. Smith, Widener, Michael, Schulte, Hamby, the top 5. Don't look now. Rob Haynes went from 8th to 6th on that lap and clocked the purple lap. I think Haynes doesn't want to get back up to the front of the field. Justin Michael does as well. Here he goes underneath Charlie Widener looking for second. I know these drivers have some pretty good mental fortitude, but seeing Andrew Schultz's truck snap like that a couple of laps ago would have me sweating bullets right now. Because you know these guys are pushing as hard as they can go.
Well, I mean, we're not saying he's not sweating bullets, but he's not showing it on the racetrack. He got right back in it and slammed his foot down and said, we got to keep going.
Floorboard deep truly is the name of the game. Michael on the top, Widener on the bottom, Schulte looking for a lane. 80 on the board.
Schulte is running all over this racetrack now. He's been up to the top, runs down to the bottom, moves up to the top again on entry, and then who knows where he's going from there. He's searching for anything he can.
Does he know? Sometimes it's better not knowing. Heath Smith hoping it stays like this, knowing that it won't. Widener with a bobble. Schultz. Temptation right in front of him to shoot the gap. There's a big wiggle. These trucks are looking unsteady as they have been all race, even at this point in the run. It's going to allow Michael to clear and get to second. And here he comes looking for the lead already. Oh!
Michael going to try to produce a huge run off the top side here.
Smith going to swing to the bottom. Michael follows. Schulte clear around Widener behind them. Schulte to third. Michael looking for room on the bottom. Smith can protect.
Here's the onboard shot with Schulte with the fight for the lead right in front of him.
Top six have broken away. Smith, Michael, Schulte, Widener, Hamby, and Burkhart. 3/4 of a truck length now down to a half. And less than that, Michael looking for room underneath. Oh, Burkhart, I think, got a kiss of the wall there out of 4. Michael sticks to the top. Don't look now. Andrew Schulte closing in. Don't forget how we ended season 2023. Schulte and Michael separated by 4 1,000ths at the line.
Here's some lap
Paradise.
traffic.
He's going to stick to the top side here. Does a nice job. Inside of 10 to go. Boy, oh boy.
Bit of a gap forming from Schulte on back to the rest of them.
High drama already. This is the damn practice race. Imagine how it's going to be when we kick things off next week at Daytona proper.
Yeah, you know these drivers and the CNC Home Designs Maximum Velocity Truck Series, they really like getting after it, but boy, getting after it at Daytona the way these guys like to, that's going to be something.
Oh, Michael loose!
Oh, wow. Schulte tried to look to the outside, nearly put himself in the wall. Now dives underneath the Michael for second.
Michael fighting for his race here. Schulte watching Heath Smith drive away. 6 laps to go. Well defended, but now 0.6 of a second for Justin Michael to catch back up to Heath Smith. And only 5 laps to do it in.
Smith has been running really solid laps. Haven't seen any sort of a slip up from the number 1 so far in this run. He needs to keep it up for 5 more laps.
The 2023 stats do not do justice for Heath Smith. He was running really solid in quite a few races last season and had something out of his control go wrong that took him out of it. Most notably, I think North Wilkesboro and Dover had great runs going there and did not get the result. I know it's not for points, but certainly a big confidence boost heading into the season. Only just a few miles away. Justin Michael dirt tracking it out of 2. It's going to open the door for Schulte once again to go underneath. And Schulte going to take it with ease this time. I mean, that thing was quarter cocked sideways like a sprint car. Schulte with problems, though, now. And a bit of indecisiveness there from Michael. Can't capitalize. Heath Smith off and running.
Wow, Michael is just giving it everything he has. Nearly drifted up into the wall there off of 2.
How fitting. The Illinois green going to wave at the line this time here in virtual Illinois. 2 laps to go for Heath Smith. Wants to make it another 1.5 miles to see that white. Michael all the way up to the wall and nearly in it. Still loose. Heath Smith, 1.5 miles from victory. Schulte and Michael might be on for one last round here. But some excellent defensive work is going to get it done here today. Who says defense doesn't win championships? Heath Smith is going to take the practice race at Chicagoland. And it's finally Truck 1 to P1.
And what a great start to the campaign here for Heath Smith. You mentioned the woes of last season, just getting caught up in so many things out of his control. Looking to right those wrongs here in 2024. Kicks it off with a practice race victory.
That's a Bandit 1-2-3 podium sweep in the practice race. Schulte and Michael, despite how hard they were battling their teammates. And the defending champ will finish in second here in the practice race. But Heath Smith finally on the top step. Hoping to replicate that with a points-paying victory next week at Daytona. And as Smith parks it at start-finish, we'll go ahead and give you the full finishing rundown here after 95 titillating laps here at Chicagoland. How about that? It is Smith, Schulte, Michael. Hopefully we'll talk to all three of these gentlemen momentarily. Fourth for Charlie Widener. Fifth for Johnny Hammy. Sixth for Matt Burkhart. Rob Haynes in seventh. John Pansilda in eighth. Willie Evernham in ninth. Chris Foyles in 10th. Michael Van, a quiet P11 for him here tonight. And I think we can reveal Lehman's Mega Money Mania will go to Jack Nunemacher tonight in the P12. 12 was the number that was picked before the start of this race. Nunemacher, the final finisher on the lead lap. We'll take that $5 and maybe we'll sneak in a quick word with him as well. P13 to Bill Paradise, had some problems there late. Gary Cleaver DNFs from here on out in 14th. Doug Heveron in 15th. Michael Milfeld in 16th. Brad Ream in 17th. James Lehman in P18. And Riley Tilton with the early exit there in P number 19. And why don't we sneak in a quick word here with Jack Nunemacher. We'll talk to your P12 finisher, a new initiative coined by James Lehman. A random finishing position every race is going to get $5 bonus dollars. And that position tonight was 12th, and that goes to Jack Nunemacher. Welcome to Booth 200, partner. Congrats.
Hello, thank you.
Well, what was your race like here tonight?
So I really wasn't sure what to expect because I barely ever drive this track, and I was surprised once I got out there. The track felt good, the truck felt good, and it was let's have some fun. And we had a blast. It was a great race.
And what's the campaign looking like for you here in 2024? We're going full time, part time. What are the expectations?
I'm going to be as full-time as I can be with my retail work schedule. It's going to be a little difficult to make every one, but I'm going to be at every race I can. I'm going to give everybody a run for their money if I can.
Well, there you go. And what better way to give them a run for their money than to take the money at the start of the season? Shout out. Anybody you want to shout out here?
Well, all my teammates with 4 Wide. We got Michael Van and Robert Gray's usually with us. He's on duty right now. But yeah, everybody at Maximum Velocity, all the admins there. I mean, they do a fantastic job. Great bunch of people to race with. Everybody, thank you all.
Well, looking forward to talking to you more this season. But way to take the money here tonight with the P12 finish and go celebrate.
Thank you. Have a great evening. Thank you.
Alrighty, now we'll pull up your third place finisher. It's been too long since we talked to this man. I believe since the Snowball Derby victories last time we got to talk to Justin Michael. He'll round out the podium here tonight with a P3 finish at Chicagoland. Good to talk to you again, partner.
Yeah, definitely good to be here. Had a really good run tonight. Really good group of guys, and Heath pulled off a really good win there. We're really happy for him.
I was gonna say you of course always seem to come alive towards the end of the run, and it looked like that was going to happen again. A couple of times you had your way with the guys you were battling with up front, but he did a really good job on defense there. Was it something that he did in particular? Was it a difference in the track or the truck or the life of the tires there at the end of the race?
I think it was just too short of run to do what I normally do, which is let everybody else burn their stuff up. It was, I think, 20 laps, 25 laps, and it just wasn't long enough. So I was trying to get by him, and in that process, I really burnt my stuff up. I think I destroyed my right rear tire. I was getting so loose.
I was going to say, it looked a bit touchy there for the last couple laps. You were really dirt tracking it from what I could tell.
Yeah, from I was going back on that one lap, my right rear quarter panel hit the wall 3 or 4 times, and the front didn't.
Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, congrats on a good run. Looked like a ton of fun out there tonight. Going to the strategy play, though, you came down a second time under caution, looked like for fuel. So were we close on the fuel number there?
Yeah, I could have made it. One stopped it from there. Had saved probably just a little bit, and I knew I don't think anybody else would have been able to. So I was just hoping for the green the rest of the way, and it didn't work out, unfortunately.
Well, tonight was the practice race, not for points or anything, but for bragging rights. But obviously the notebook is always open. What do you take out of a night like this?
We got some new faces to learn out there and see how they drive, and some of the older guys, and some of the older guys have stepped it up too. So during the off season, so it'll be. I think it's going to be a fun season. Hopefully, you guys will enjoy the show.
Well, we enjoyed the show tonight here, partner. Good running as always. Great to get to talk to you. Anybody want to shout out or say hello to?
Scott from Patented Paints out there. I know he's on a cruise right now. I don't know if he's watching or not, but he always paints a really good truck. James for putting on this leg, and everybody out there for watching. We really appreciate it.
Well, looking forward to talking to you many times here in 2024. So it's good to start off on the right foot here. Congrats on the P3.
Thanks, guys.
And we will talk to your reigning and defending series champion. Driver number 81 is Andrew Schulte. He'll finish runner-up here tonight at Chicagoland. Congrats on the podium. Welcome back to the booth.
Appreciate it. Good to be here.
That looked like a pretty fun race, especially duking it out there at the end, just like you did at Las Vegas to close out last season with Justin Michael. The oval refresh has done some interesting things. These setups have done some interesting things, but tonight's was through and through a really fun race. It looked like.
Yeah, it's been fun learning what's changed as far as like the different lines and how. You can run at one part of the track at one point during the race and go to a completely different point and it be completely different. So it's been fun learning that. It's been fun driving it. It makes it more. There's more to it. So it's not necessarily a puzzle, but there's more to figure out rather than what we had before of just driving it as is and nothing really changing. So adds another element to it and certainly makes it more fun.
Matt, what do you got?
Congrats on a good run tonight, and you're the reigning champion, defending the championship here in 2024. But a long season, but I feel like for you, that might be a good thing. You won the championship last season with only one win, so you got to feel good about staying consistent and getting good finishes all throughout the 36 points-paying races, and maybe not even having to win to get yourself up there and get a championship again.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long season. It's gonna be tough to stay consistent throughout, and also running aggressive. Like you want to keep the truck in one piece, but like there at the end with, all of us racing, we're racing pretty tight, being on each other's doors and whatnot, and it's not as fun not racing for every position. Like I could have just sat behind Justin and helped him try and get back up to Heath and battle him, but I want every spot I can get. If I can finish second versus third, I'm gonna go for it and I'm gonna battle hard. And if there's contact or if something happens, it's racing happens. So I'm looking forward to it. And looking forward to listening to what you guys have to say. It's been a little bit of an off season here. Miss watching you guys' broadcasts as far as the Max V races go. So will be exciting to get back and watching and listening to what you guys have to say.
Well, thank you, partner. We appreciate the kind words, and I know we'll be talking to you a lot here this season. And we wouldn't expect anything less than you fighting for every spot. That's why we enjoy watching you do what you do. Shout-outs for you here tonight.
Big one going to Scott Patton, Patented Paints, repping the Dale Jr. look-alike Taco Bell car. Got that whipped up over the off-season, and we got a special surprise on a little bit more of a shiny version that'll trickle in throughout the season. But yeah, that's Man, I can't say enough good things about Scott. I mean, he give him an idea and he whips it up in a pretty quick turnaround time. You know, everyone's got their full-time jobs and whatnot. He just does it for a hobby, and he's got real quality stuff. So super excited about the paint this year. Shout out to the Max Velocity or the Bandit Motorsports teammates. It was fun racing Justin there, and good to be back with the Thursday night crew racing with everyone. Looking forward to the season. Thanks to Carrie for sponsoring this. Got the main sponsor on for the season. And congrats to Heath on the preseason victory here.
Well, there you go. Hopefully we'll talk to you again next week in Daytona.
Thank you, sir.
And it is good to finally talk to this man as a race winner here on Turn 200. Heath Smith, going to park the one on the top step of the podium here tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you. That's a long time coming.
Yes, it is. We talked quite a bit there in the closing laps about the good runs that you were having last season. Things did not work out for one reason or another as the races rolled along, whether it's the internet or speeding penalties or just general carnage and mayhem. But that was last season, and we are starting off on the right foot here tonight with not only a victory, but I mean, anytime you could fend off a ravenous Justin Michael behind you, you're really doing something right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you can win in Max V, you're doing something, because it is absolutely loaded from front to back with talent. Justin, Andrew, Charlie, Mike Milfett, Rob, Johnny Hamby. I mean, it's just loaded from one end to the other. So I'm thrilled. I know it was a fun race tonight to get the year started off, but any win against those guys is huge.
You started towards the front of the field. I feel like we didn't really call out your name a whole lot there until probably the third or fourth caution there. You started making moves to get yourself into the top five again. What was the game plan headed into tonight? And I mean, obviously, you have to feel like you executed on a bit because you won the race. But did everything go to plan?
Kinda. Of course it did, because I won, so it makes me look really good. But no, I was actually, that first stint there, I was trying to get to lap 33 on fuel so I could make the fuel strategy work towards the end. So I was actually trying to save a little bit, and then just so I wouldn't have to make an extra pit stop. And then when the caution started falling out, or falling the way they did, luckily I got a great restart on that last restart. I was able to roll up to Justin and had the momentum, and Andrew kind of pushed me on through there, and then Charlie and Andrew and Justin, they kind of raced each other pretty hard back there, and it just let me relax and hit my marks and go on to win.
Yeah, plans are made, not to be followed. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Eventually, one of these days, I might win a race somewhere. Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, congrats on the race win, and a really fun one at that. We're looking at a long season here coming up in 2024, but this has got to be a pretty good confidence booster to get you going into Daytona. How are we feeling about the season?
You know, I'm feeling pretty good. I've got all new equipment, new rig. So I've had the internet people out here twice already. They still haven't got it completely fixed. So if I can get these cats to come out here and get this internet issue I got nailed down, I'm looking forward to this season. It's going to be competitive. It's such a talented group of guys in this Max V. If you can run top fives, you've done something. So, but I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it, and I think we'll have a really, really competitive season this year.
I agree with you 100%. It's going to be a one for the books here in 2024, but a great way to kick things off here tonight with the big dub. Anybody you want to shout out or say hello to from the top step?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I got to thank all the Max V admins for making this happen. CNC Home Designs. And then I got to thank Charlie, Johnny, Mike for helping me out. I hang out with them in the Discord channel, and we talk strategies and what lanes to run, and they've been a huge help to me here in the last month or so, 2 months. So thank them, guys.
Well, congrats on the win. Hopefully first of many here for this season. But go celebrate. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week at Daytona.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
These guys are schooled up already. They all mentioned the sponsor. They already got their thank yous and hellos polished up. So that's good. No shout outs to the sim wives or sim moms here tonight, but so we'll say hello to them and sim partners in general. But hello to all the all the significant others that are partaking in the tomfoolery and madness here on Turn 200 as always. Matt, it's a blessed day on Turn 200 whenever we can sneak a race in at Chicagoland, and tonight absolutely delivered.
Yeah, I mean, you and I, after what we saw a couple nights ago, were maybe a little bit nervous about this one. We're worried that it wouldn't quite live up to what we've come to know and love it here at Chicagoland, but holy cow, it might have over-delivered, if that's even possible. It was a spectacular race here tonight. Unfortunately, not going to be on the regular season schedule, which is that's a shame, but very much looking forward to what we got coming up here. 36 points paying races. You can bet if there's a Thursday night this year, we're probably streaming the CNC Home Designs Maximum Velocity Truck Series. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, and the 1 week that the Cup Series is off for the Olympics, that is when Max V's hosting their All-Star race. So we're pretty much here from now until November on Thursday nights. You know exactly where to find us right here on Turn 200. If you haven't already, scroll down and hit subscribe on your way out of the stream here tonight. We have picked up a couple subs here tonight, including DeJuan Chandler and also Reflection X. Thank you to both of you for subscribing here tonight. And hitting like on the stream, maybe if you did that as well. And if anybody found us through the iRacing Top 10, I don't know how, but hello to you as well. Thank you for coming over and spending some time with us here tonight. Again, we'll be back in action with the Maximum Velocity CNC Home Designs Truck Series next Thursday night, the season opener from Daytona. And some action between now and then as well. But I got to give Matt Williamson a chance to shout out who was hanging out with us here tonight.
Yeah, a few people hanging out with us here tonight. Goodleaf Archives. She's become the staple chatter here in the Turn 200 streams. Always very appreciative. Indica Scarlet, of course, in here as well as JJ Wang. So good to get lots of good folks from multiple of our series around for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching, and anybody else that'll watch here tonight. Appreciate it, and looking forward to having you here for more of our streams coming up.
Sunday afternoon, the top split strength of field broadcast for the Mission R Challenge from the Industrie Farten? Oh boy, that doesn't sound great when I don't say it in German. At the Nürburgring, basically, the big one, but without the stadium section this time. Still plenty long enough for the Nürburgring. Going to be an interesting race on Sunday afternoon for the all-electric Porsche Mission R. Monday night, it is the season finale of the inaugural season of the Formula Super Series. They are at Suzuka International, the Grand Prix circuit. It's one of my favorites personally. It is going to be an absolutely fantastic way to close out the first season of FSS. Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series is at the 2022 version of Atlanta Motor Speedway, so hammer down super speedway action on Tuesday night for the trucks. And then immediately following that, more super speedway action. Super speedway? Did I say that? I don't know. For the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series season opener at Daytona. So we'll hope to see you back here for all the great racing action we have here on Turn 200 and for all the great Daytona 500 adjacent content that we'll be pumping out in a non-live stream capacity next week as well. We'll have quite a few things as we normally do this time of year. So stay tuned for all that. And we'll see you back here on Sunday afternoon. For everybody here with the Maximum Velocity crew, for the CNC Home Designs crew, for the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we say so long from Chicagoland, where Heath Smith stands tall after the practice race here tonight. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.